Welcome, Scorpios. It's Rowan here at the Tea Leaves and Tarot Parlour, and this is your summer solstice reading, your Litha reading for 2019. Just taking a look at how the energy is shaping up in your life right now and what you can do to celebrate the solstice. And so just giving the energy a moment to settle in as we look at the cards here. And just the immediate place I am drawn to right here is the Three of Wands, and it's in the position of the West. So it's all about emotion. It's all about the energy that's passing you away. So what that's telling me right here is there was a time of waiting. There was a time of waiting for the results of some project or endeavor to come in, and that time of waiting is now past. And so that's lovely. And also because it's in the West, it's telling us that this is something that you felt very drawn to, something that you felt very passionate about, had a strong emotional attachment to. And we can see this reflected in the Four of Wands right here, and in the place of where you are right now, and where you will find yourself on this summer solstice, which is in the energy of abundance, in the energy of celebration. And it could even be that you're actually attending an event. You may have a graduation to go to, or some sort of rite of passage that you're going to. And of course with Scorpio, it's all about that rite of passage. It's all about transitions. But this one is a celebration that is also a very, very happy celebration. So we can tell that you're kind of jumping back into life again at this summer solstice. And as I'm pulled to the place of north, the place of darkness, we see the Lord, we see the Emperor. And of course with the major arcana cards, we always know that this is about our spiritual journey, that the hand of destiny is at work. And the major arcana are all about little initiations, or maybe even not little initiations. Sometimes they're big initiations, but they're cards that are talking about what we're working on spiritually. So really what you're working on spiritually right now in the Emperor card is bringing something to fruition, bringing something, an idea, a project, once again, just something that you've been working on or that's been hanging out up there in the ethers, and you're about to bring it into physical manifestation. And it's important to note, and now in the position that this is in my solstice spread, it is in the position of the north, which I said is the place of darkness. So it's also the place of our shadow self. So with the Emperor in this place of the shadow self, you may need to go in and do some examination around the divine masculine, and how you really bring in that masculine energy, or even the energy of the sun itself, into your life. In the place of darkness here in the north, it can also denote the shadow side. So what is it about your divine masculine? Possibly it could be yourself, or it could be a man that is significant in your life, so that could be affecting you in some way, and something that you don't really quite want to look at right now. So you may want to go back into that, go a little bit deeper. And like I said, it could actually be someone that's physically in your life, or it could just be that archetypal divine masculine that you want to delve into. And of course we all have the masculine and feminine aspects within ourselves, and it's how we use them. So it's quite possible that either you're touching in too much to your divine masculine, or maybe not enough. Either way, this is coming out of the shadow side. It's coming out at summer solstice. And so, also another aspect of the consort of the goddess, the god coming out. So really go deep with that one. It feels like it has a special resonance with you right now, Scorpio. And of course, just a reminder that this is just a general reading. These are all general readings for the signs. So if it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. It might not be for you this time. If it does, then that's wonderful. And feel free. There may be some elements of it that resonate with you. Excuse me. or there may be some elements that don't. So feel free to take what resonates with you and leave behind what doesn't resonate with you. So moving forward to see what's on the horizon, what's coming up in the east in the place of the rising sun here, which is the Seven of Wands. And so with the Seven of Wands, we see, once again, we get this element of fire and movement, but we also get this kind of, partial victory where someone's reached a goal, or is closer to attaining a goal, but also on guard for what's coming up next. So you may want to just take a look at that and see if there's a need to be on guard for something, or if perhaps a little bit of paranoia is playing into it, and just take a look at where you are with your goals right now. The energy that's going to really help you out at this time, that is walking with you at the midday sun in the south. So once again, we get the element of fire there with the south, and we have the Four of Swords here. So, it's a nice blend of that fire and the air with that swords coming in. So, and once again, we've got the number 4 here. And so the 4 is appearing in terms of just that very earthly manifestation. It's like, what are you anchoring into your reality is the question I want to ask you, Scorpio. And I feel like that's the question you should be asking yourself on the solstice. What am I anchoring into my reality? What am I establishing in my present place? What foundation am I laying right now? Because clearly you are laying a foundation for something. And this is the point where you want to make sure that you're consciously aware of it, because otherwise you're laying the foundation for whatever your unconscious is bringing forth. And so this is a good time to look at that, and you'll be able to tell what's coming up for you just by looking at what's around you, how your life is in terms of love, money, relationships, home, and that'll give you a good indication of where your focus is at a very unconscious level, if you're unaware of it at a conscious level. So this is really your point of power too, because like I said, we're talking about manifestation, we're talking about what you're bringing in, and so what you're going to be creating during this time period. So let's go ahead and, I want to take a little bit of a deeper look at, let's see, I was looking, of course, cards fell out. You know how it is when cards just fall out. And I was really looking at the major arcana card, the Lord, the Divine Masculine, the Emperor. Really curious about, why he's hanging out in the darkness here. What he's got to hide, because I always find that there's a lot of like raw potential that hides in our shadow self. So, what is he wanting you to go deeper into? So, the first card that falls out is Coronis, the Devil card. So, we are talking about right here, once again, we're talking about, what you're tied to in the material world, and if you're, too tied to the material world. So this is a time to look at that. It's also a time to really go deep into those fears, those worries, those doubts, any of those what we would call negative emotions that may be holding you back. So this would be an excellent time to meditate on these two archetypes, the devil and this facing your fears. And Scorpio, out of all the signs, you're the best to do that, because Scorpio is pretty fearless. I mean, the phoenix that rises from the ashes, right? But Scorpios do hold fear in there. And so then we have the Seven of Pentacles. So this is about success, and this is about being able to really look over. It is about material success too. We get that with the coins, the seven. The seven is also, it's the path of the mystic as well. So this is part of your spiritual journey. right now at this time and on this solstice. So there may be some fear about how money is going to look and how it's going to anchor into your future, and your material, the very material survival. And then the Two of Swords. Okay, so the Two of Swords, we're looking at a stalemate here. So there's that energy of just possibly getting stuck. And I feel like this is more of just a warning for you not to get stuck, not to get trapped in this this energy of not knowing which way to go, being able to, not make a decision one way or the other. So as much as you're going into the place of reflection, self-reflection, and meditation, it's like, don't get stuck there either. Out of all of this, you are supposed to come out with a decision, because with all the fours, as we've seen before, this is about what you are anchoring in your reality for this solstice. Thank you for joining us, Rowan at the Tea Leaves and Tarot Parlor.